What's going on, guys? My name is Noah. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is the end of September, and as such, we're going to do a September Q&A brought to you guys by a few of my incredible Patreon supporters. Thank you guys so much for supporting me in that way, and thank each and every one of you for being here and just engaging with me, commenting, liking, anything. I'm really glad you guys are here, and I have some great questions for you that were left for me to answer, and I really had to think on them. So the first question comes from a wonderful man named Mike Baffa, and Mike asks me, what is my reason why? I don't know why I had to look to remember that, but what is my reason why? He's referring to mental health. What was my reason for trying to fight and get through depression, anxiety, fitness, and YouTube? So I know my reasons why, but they've changed over the years. So initially with my depression, my anxiety, when I was really bad off, my reason why was my family. I didn't want to leave my family behind. I didn't want to leave my wife behind. I didn't want to leave my parents, my friends, my brothers, and sisters. So they were enough to keep me going for a long time, because when I was really sick early on with suicidality, depression, anxiety, things became very primitive. I really couldn't think deeply on why I'd want to fight. It was more just like, thought I was going to die, didn't know if I was going to make it, basic survival. My family was enough. And then it adapted. It adapted beyond that to where I started to believe, at least a little bit, that there was a chance. And so I fought for myself more. I no longer needed that external influence. I could just fight for me. And the possibility of a future me needing me to fight so that I could have a life, just in case I made it. I was able to fight for me at the thought that there could be life after. And then once I started to get a little bit of success with my mental health recovering, took a couple of years, and when I started this YouTube channel to open up about what I was dealing with, to try to connect with people, very much looking for support and help from others, I realized that I did have an opportunity to offer some support to others, not just receive it. And that was a powerful feeling, and it was a feeling that has really driven me and motivated me to use my experience with depression, anxiety, depersonalization, suicidality, the long-standing nature of some mood disorders, to possibly help. A huge motivator to keep getting better, keep fighting for my mental wellness, because other people need support. And if I could offer that support, I need to be able to give it, because it was freely given to me, and that is an important thing for me to always remember. And so I was now fighting. Then I started fighting for mental health because I knew I could maybe help someone else. And that's huge. When it came to fitness, really that one's a simple one. I've always liked working out, lost track of that when I got super sick, and then realized that working out and being in shape and doing all that was good for my mental health. And so I was like, oh, choice taken out of it. It's no longer just about looking good, it's about feeling good. And so I realized that if that's one of those things that could help me feel good and protect me and give me a better shot at beating my mood disorder, I'm going to work out. And so I just eliminated choice, and I've been on that path relentlessly ever since. And when it comes to YouTube, it's sort of, I could piggyback what I said at the end of the mental health motivation. I feel lucky that I get to do this. I think what keeps me motivated is this sense of self I get from doing this, a sense of purpose. You guys have given me a tremendous sense of purpose, and my terrible experience, my traumatic experience with depression and anxiety led me to this really cool outlet on YouTube. I've connected with so many amazing people, and I feel lucky. I think at the end of the day, I think it's really cool that I get to do this, and I don't want to act like it's promised to me or act like I deserve it. I just feel very fortunate to have you guys, and so I'm motivated every day to make videos because I learn so much about myself when I'm open, and when I make these videos, I learn so much stuff from you guys. And it's just fun. This is fun. And I never want to lose sight of that and how grateful I am that I can do this at all. So thank you, Mike. The next question comes from Joe Robertson. Thank you, Joe, for this question. He says, is there a particular film or filmmaker that has inspired or changed your life? Also, do you find comedy to be combatant against depression and anxiety? I really like this question, and it's a pretty easy one for me. Guillermo del Toro. That sounds super honky when I say that, but Guillermo del Toro. He's one of my favorite directors. I really, really like his style. He made a movie called Pan's Labyrinth some years back. I strongly recommend you see it. You will have to read some subtitles, but it is a beautifully crafted film. And I remember it affected me because it triggered so many different emotions. It was scary. It was imaginative. It was troublesome because you have this lead character who goes through a terrible trauma and then is in a terrible period in time, mixed with the supernatural aspects of that film. I realized this guy could inspire anxiety, fear, hope, wonder, whatever, everything in one film. And I was like, I like this dude. I'm going to follow him. He has since done Pacific Rim and a movie called Mama. I liked all of his stuff. He's very diverse. And I think he's an incredible filmmaker. I can't wait to see what else he comes up with. And as far as do I think comedy is a combatant against depression? Yeah, and anxiety. I'd say so. I think there's a weird thing about comedy for me where early on, trying to watch a comedy kind of made me extra sad when I was really depressed, because I was like, I can't connect to this anymore. I don't feel any good feelings. I'm not laughing. But I think what I later realized, especially if I watched older comedies, I realized that it could flicker parts of me that I thought were dead because of my depression. Like I would maybe laugh even though I wasn't feeling good, and just seeing myself respond to something that used to make me really, really happy and make me smile and bust out or whatever, I was like, okay, I'm still in there. So it's kind of like this little jolt, like, hey, you're still in there. It's the weirdest thing, guys, but depressed people can smile and laugh while they're very depressed. It's almost a bad thing in terms of how misleading it can be, because most people just need to be honest about the fact that they're not doing well. But I digress. A different point. Yes, it can be a combatant, so long as you don't take it personal, that it's not as funny as it used to be when you weren't depressed. You'll get better, and it'll be really funny again. The next question comes from my mom, Maya Thomas. Mama, I love you. You know you don't have to be here on Patreon, but I wouldn't expect anything less. My mom, guys, has always been just such a supporter of my journey and the path that has been sort of paved for me since I got depressed and this whole YouTube thing and getting into film. So thank you, Mom. I honor you. I love you. Show my mama some love in the comments below. She's a good lady. My mom asks, how do you motivate yourself for the new day? I motivate myself each day to be the best version of myself because of how it feels to go to bed at the end of the day when I don't live my truth, when I let myself down. It's a terrible feeling, and it's almost enough to just about every day to keep me living in right, to keep me going towards something I believe in, because I want to be proud of myself. I want to feel like I'm doing the right thing, and I want to feel like I'm being respectful of myself and my life. That's a tough question, Mom. I don't even know if I answered it right, but I hope that makes sense. I hope I tried. I did try. I hope that works for you, Mama. If not, I'll refund you. I'm not going to refund you. Last question comes from Mr. Larry Robbins. Thank you, Larry, for this question. It's a TRT, testosterone replacement therapy question. And Larry says, when I first went on TRT, I felt amazing. Because my labs are so good, my doctor let me stay in the very top of the range. Over the past several months, I'm feeling more like I did before starting TRT. Could I be running with too much test? Would lowering my dose be a good thing? Well, I can tell you, Larry, that I had a similar experience to where I felt really good at a high range, but then my blood work revealed that even though my dose of 200 was the same as it had always been, my levels were getting higher. And with that, not to patronize you, perhaps you already know this, but with that, my estrogen went higher. So if any of your hormones are out of whack, regardless of having your testosterone being elevated, it will affect you funny. And so I consequently feel much better at a lower dose, 120, than I ever did at 200, which is curious to me. I remember thinking more would inherently be better. If some is good, more is better, and I was wrong. Less has been better for me at 120 because my E2 is more in check. And beyond that, I will quite frankly say, and I'm not a doctor, but there are a lot of factors for mood, and life is ever changing, the body's ever changing, your brain chemistry is ever changing. So if anything else gets out of whack or anything else is going on with you, it can affect it. Being on TRT, it doesn't make you bulletproof. It really doesn't. I've had really bad stretches on TRT, but I still feel I'm overall better for having that hormone regulated than not. But I've certainly had depressive stretches, very anxious stretches, hard stretches that made me question things. And I think that's a good reminder to all of us to make sure that we are cleaning our side of the street for the gauntlet, the myriad of things that can affect mental health. With our lifestyle, with our diet, with our relationships, with our self-care, with our education. So many things that we really can at least get our hand in, at least get involved in, that some of us don't. We just start taking for granted, myself included. We get lazy, we get complacent, we start taking chances, and then we start struggling, we wonder why. So I think it's less important to focus and obsess on just the TRT, but I would make sure your blood work is exactly what it needs to be, that you don't have anything, you're not like a high converter. Too much testosterone can high convert sometimes into more estrogen. Make sure your thyroid's looking well. Just make sure your blood work and everything looks good, and then just be patient. Make adjustments to your protocol if you need to, and then keep investigating other things. I'm not a doctor, so please, of course, consult a doctor, consult an expert, but that's just my take. I do think it's curious, though, that you said you felt really good, and then it stopped working as well. Maybe it's time to tweak. The body changes. Maybe you're using the testosterone you have more efficiently than you used to. So that's all I got. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching this video. Thank you to the few people on Patreon who made this Q&A possible, the September Q&A. You guys mean so much to me. And you know what? I think I want to pose the question before I go. What motivates you guys each and every day? You know, I think that to me was the hardest one to answer, because it feels like there's a lot I could say, and I couldn't quite figure out. I feel like that was the only one I don't feel like I answered well, because it's interesting. It's an interesting question. Thanks, Mom. Later, guys.